You have tuned in to Seattle Connected, the show that connects you with entrepreneurs, business people, movers and shakers in our community. We're letting you know who they are first before they become household names, which we know they soon will be. Who do I have with me? I'm going to tell you. Well, when it comes to life, you always want to put your best foot forward. You always want to make moves. You don't want to stand in one place. Not just physically, mentally, emotionally. You have to know where you're going. And with that being said, I have my guest who is all about making moves. And she does it so easy, so graceful. More than a ballerina, my good friend, Audrey. Awesome, Audrey. Welcome to Seattle Connected.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's an honor.
How was the intro?
Amazing.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, so good.
Come on.
Thank
Yes,
you. I'm honored.
It. Man, welcome.
Thank you.
Glad you could be here. Take time out of your super busy schedule.
Oh, I mean,
it's the truth, because we've been trying to do this for a minute. But that's a good thing.
You're busy too. I mean, it's like both of our schedules like having to align, you know.
But we got it.
Yes.
We got this.
We finally.
Miss Audrey, are you a Washington native?
Yeah.
What? Yes.
I am.
Come on.
So I was actually born in Seattle in 1998. But I never actually lived in Seattle. I was just born there and lived in Sultan, Washington, which is really far out in the sticks, for like 4 years. And then my mom, dad, and then my sister and I, my brother wasn't born yet, we all moved to New Hampshire in this small town called Gilmanton, and like that's basically where I grew up. So, but yeah, technically, you know, I am from Washington.
Yes. Yeah. Say it with pride. Yes.
Yes, I'm from Washington.
Yeah. I like how you said way back, you're like 1998. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was that is long ago.
Wow. So then I'm not going to tell you when I was born. Thanks a lot, Audrey. You're off to a very good start. Anyway, let's move on. Yes.
I mean, anything before the 2000s, I feel like is like older now. Like my brother is born in the 2000s, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like it's so crazy, weird. Huh? Yeah.
Man. Yeah. And time flies, especially when you can look back at certain things and you're like, that was 20 years ago? I can remember that. You know, whatever it is, you're like, damn. That just means you're getting older.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what the alternative is to not get old, and that means that you're not living anymore.
Right. You gotta stay young.
Yeah, you don't want that. Yeah. It's all mindset. Audrey, where did you get your start as far as dance goes? Was this something that you picked up as a child or just a year ago? I know it wasn't a year ago, but I just wanted to say that. Is this something that you were taught by one of your parents? Like, where did you get your beginnings at?
My beginnings, I think I was 4 or 5 years old. And it was for like a summer camp thing in a neighboring town in New Hampshire from where we lived. So I don't know. My mom just put my sister and I in it, and I just kind of kept going with it. Yeah.
How was that starting out?
How was it starting out?
Because you said you kept going with it. Did your sister continue?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I just really liked it from the beginning, and I don't know. My mom will like tell me stories of like, oh, and this is probably stories of a lot of ballet dancers, I feel like, when it's like, oh, they're like 2 or 3 years old and they're walking around the house on their toes.
Yeah.
And my mom told me that when I was around that age, like 2 or 3, I was walking around on the knuckles of my feet.
Yeah.
And she was like, Audrey, stop walking on your knuckles. I don't remember this at all, but my mom was like, Audrey, stop walking on your knuckles. And so I guess I was like, okay. And I started walking on the tips of my toes instead.
Oh, wow.
And so my mom was like, all right, we gotta do something about this.
See? Look at that. Your mom knew. Shout out to her.
Shout out to my mom.
She's a visionary. So you were doing that at 2 or 3. And then did you continue with just that type of dance, or did you take any other type of dance?
Oh, yeah. So I actually did a lot of genres of dance growing up.
Do tell.
Yeah. So I did ballet, jazz, tap for some time, contemporary. There's a genre called lyrical and musical theater. Like, I did a lot. I actually didn't study ballet seriously, like full time, like 5-6 days a week. You're taking technique, point, variations, like choreography. I didn't do that serious training until I was 18. Just kind of late. But I did start going to summer intensives, which can be these summer programs that are 4 to 6 weeks long, where you do have that 9 to 5 ballet, like strict training. I would do that over the summer from like the age of 13 to 19. So I still got a lot of training growing up, but I did like year round. I wasn't doing ballet every single day.
Okay.
So it's interesting because I guess in some ways I was a late starter and other ways I wasn't. It's kind of hard to explain sometimes because it's like, yeah, I did ballet all my life, but I didn't go to a full-time feeder school to a company until I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
And usually dancers will try to get that when they're like 14 or 15 at the latest. So yeah, that was kind of a struggle, but I think in other ways, having learned tap and jazz and all these other genres has helped my career in more ways than I probably know. Like it makes you more versatile, I guess.
Okay. Out of the other styles of dance that you took, was there any one in particular that you, I guess, would say like is second place? Like if I wasn't doing ballet, I'd be still doing tap, or...
Actually, I loved tap.
Yeah?
For a while.
Are you just saying that because I threw it out there?
No,
Tap, yeah.
I loved tap. I did tap from like 4th grade to 7th or 8th grade or something like that. And I think it was, the reason why I stopped doing it was because like my parents, like budgeting, they're like, well, do you want to do point or do you want to do tap? Yeah. And so I picked ballet over tap, but I love tap. I think tap or jazz. Yeah. Jazz was my thing too.
Yeah. What's one thing that you would say people generally get wrong about those in the field of ballet? Like, what's something that they just assume and you're like, oh, it's not really...
I think...
You practice 24 hours a day.
Yeah, no sleep.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I think in the United States, what I'll get a lot from like Uber drivers or something that'll, just having casual conversations is like, okay, but what is your full-time job? Like they don't, I think some people can't grasp that you can be a full-time ballet dancer and like make a living out of it.
Right.
That I think that's more of the common thing, because in places like Europe and stuff, it's taken more as a serious career. And it is here too, but I think a lot of people are still just not as exposed to it in adulthood, and they think of it as like, oh, my daughter, took a ballet class when she was 5, and it's just like, that's great, but it's not the same thing.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, and maybe, I don't know, I guess maybe another like misconception probably is that we're just like, all of us like ballet dancers are just so obsessed with classical music and we listen to it all the time and like it's always ballet, yes. ballet.
So that's not true?
I think for a lot of people it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
It's not.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, when I'm not at work, like, I think it's good to have that separation.
Mm-hmm.
I think, though, yeah, I do have a love for classical music for sure, and I do like listening to it sometimes, but I'm not like overly obsessed with ballet like when I'm not over there, because, you know, it's, I don't know, it's good to be well-rounded.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
No, it's true, and it makes you appreciate things differently, you know, seeing things from a different perspective. So it's kind of cool to, you know, learn about other genres, just like you did with dance, you know, same thing with music. You know, being a woman of color, how do you feel about the diversity or lack thereof in dance as far as what's represented? Because I know there's a ton of people of color in dance, different forms of dance, but sometimes they don't get recognized, like, you know.
Yeah, it's I'm happy that we're getting more recognition now. It's still not enough.
Right.
Like, I've seen a lot talking about girls, like women specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like even when I was a teenager auditioning for top summer intensives, top schools in the US for ballet, like, it was a lot harder for me to get in than a black girl now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is wonderful. Because it's like, you know, that's how it should be. You know, each generation should be better.
Right.
Maybe, you know, honestly, maybe I just didn't have a lot of technique back then, and that's why. But it's like, but also it's like, I do see that I think some institutions have been kind of forced to look past skin color, which I hate saying forced.
Right.
But with like movements going around, like, I remember I auditioned for, there's an organization called the International Association of Blacks in Dance, and I don't know if they do it anymore. I haven't looked at their page in a while, but they would do these annual auditions for women of color, where each year women or girls of color were invited to be in this big audition where there would be 12, 13 directors of schools and ballet companies in the front of the room. And it was just supposed to help us, you know, get more exposure and possible job opportunities. And you know, that's wonderful. And sometimes I kind of wish that it didn't have to be like that. Like, I wish that you could just go to a normal, you know?
Right.
But I do think those things are important, and I hope it continues to happen.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just really, it's an interesting thing to think about, because as a black woman in this profession, you typically, it's like black women that you see in classical ballet, they've had to work like 10 times harder than their white counterparts.
Yeah.
And they can even be better than some of them, and it's like they're in the lowest rank, and like the other ones rise up. And it's I see it slowly changing, but it's still like hard. Yeah. You know?
It's not where it should be.
Yeah. Like, there's, in my company, there's a black soloist, and her name is Amanda Morgan, and she's absolutely beautiful. And it's crazy because I think of, in the past history of not just this company, but other companies, and seeing how like few black women have been in large ballet companies. And I think black men struggle too, But even that is a little different because in the ballet world, there's such a need for men to partner the women. So, like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes it's like Black women can be at the bottom of the totem pole. And it's like, oh, you know, because it's like women, it's like there's so many women and dancers that are on point. So, you know, you're not as much of a commodity.
Right.
But yeah, I've definitely seen like mediocre white dancers get picked over mediocre Black dancers. So it's like, you know, but things are getting better for sure.
That's good. Hopefully we keep going in the right direction and not going backwards, you know, as long as we're not regressing, progressing. That's good. And shout out to Amanda. We were supposed to actually get together and do an interview last summer and then the fall. She's super busy.
Yeah.
She is super, super busy in a good way. Shout out to Amanda.
Yeah.
What is your daily routine like as far as when you're in, do you guys have seasons or do you?
Yeah, we have a season and we have like a vacation during the summer usually. Okay,
so what's your routine when you're in season, in playing mode?
My routine.
Your daily routine. So, you know, do you have practice 7 days a week? What do you do?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You wake up late. You stay up late, wake up late. What's your routine like?
Yeah, sometimes it can be all over the place, depending. But yeah, usually for our daily routine, we have class and rehearsals from 9:15 to 6 with an hour lunch break from like 2 to 3 or something like that. During show weeks, sometimes we can start at like 10, 11, because sometimes performances will start at 7 or 7:30 because that's when people get off of work and like want to see a performance. And so maybe we'll end a performance day at like 10 o'clock. So it depends on if it's a show week or not a show week.
Yeah. And how many days a week?
We dance 5 days a week. But yeah, for Swan Lake, there was 1 week we danced for 6 days.
Okay.
Yeah, so it depends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever get tired of dancing? Like physically tired of dancing?
Yeah. I actually have like a little neck injury thing right now, and
what?
I don't know. Well, the PT said it was a little inflamed.
You have insurance, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, it's fine. I mean, I'm not in a neck brace or anything.
All right.
But yeah, sometimes it can be like it's very physically demanding, and that's why like so thankful with the place I'm at. They have PTs every single day.
Good.
And the massage therapists like a couple days a week. Yeah. And then I might also see another like massage person like on my own. Yeah. Like on a weekend or something.
So are you training in the off season in the summer?
I try.
You try? Yeah. You try. So, okay. Just be honest. How many days a week or hours, if that, in the summer do you train? And also what's your eating regimen kind of like? What are you eating more of that you might not eat as much of during the season?
Eating wise, I'm pretty like it's the same.
Okay.
In terms of like working out and dancing, I know last summer I kind of took a break.
Yeah.
Which was good, but yeah, sometimes I'll take a couple weeks off or something and then like slowly build back before the season starts.
Is that hard? Like when you take a few weeks off and then you
yeah. Well, that's why like I do it slowly.
Right.
Cause
you're like, man.
Yeah, because when I was younger, like when we'd have, because most companies have like a layoff during the summer. And like when I was younger, I'd be like, I'm not doing nothing. And then it's like the first day back to work. I'm like,
oh,
like,
this wasn't a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, see you in the fall. And fall comes. You're like, oh, man.
Crying.
Why did I do that? Oh. Yeah. Well, that's good that you're learning how to take care of yourself in the off season, taking time off, but not too much where you're going to feel it later.
Yeah. I think also it could just mentally be a lot to learn a bunch of choreography and be in the studios for that long.
Yeah.
So I do like a vacation.
That's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just be at one with yourself and just kind of away from all those other distractions and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just be peaceful.
Just be peaceful. What do you like to do when you have some free time?
I'm still figuring that out in Seattle because I've lived here for, I guess, a little over a year and a half. I like going to theme parks, and it could just be anything from going to theme parks or like I have a partner who has a dog, and so sometimes we'll go on these trails and trips and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah. Or playing Sims on my laptop.
Okay. That's what's up. It's like that.
Yeah, I'm open to anything, you know. So.
Audrey, what's one of the best compliments you've received after one of your performances? You're awesome. Woo! She's like, I know.
No, your intro was awesome.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
That was off the top of the head. Always.
Well,
all my intros are. Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's honest.
From the heart.
Yeah. I don't, in terms of like what someone has said to me, I don't know. I don't know if it's like necessarily like what someone said. I think I remember like it sounds like dramatic, but I remember the physical reactions. Like I remember seeing my mom after, my mom has come to a few shows, of course, but like,
yeah, shout out to your mom.
Yeah, shout out to her. And like, yeah, just getting emotional because like she just loved it so much. That's, you know, cool. So I remember things like that, or like compliments from teachers after shows or during intermission. Like that means a lot to have that encouragement, you know, to know that my work is paying off.
Yeah. How does it feel when you get approached after a performance by someone and their young children or something who they brought to see you and they just think that you're so cool, so amazing? How does that feel?
That means a lot. Like it I don't know, it feels so good, and it's crazy because like I remember being that little, and I was talking with someone about this the other day because for PNB Swan Lake we had a school show, and it was like an 11 a.m. show, and we didn't do the whole Swan Lake. The whole Swan Lake's like 3 hours or something. It was like a bridge. Like we broke it down, did some things, and I was talking to them about like how I thought it was so cool because when I was little and we would go on school trips to see a play, and just remembering just seeing like the characters on stage and like feeling like these people like can't be real in real life,
it's
and like
magic.
Like, or like what's behind the curtain, like what's backstage, like, and not really knowing what backstage looked like.
Yeah, that's dope.
So I don't know, it's just like really cool to just be, or what's it called, like be on like the other side of it, and like hopefully inspiring young kids that watch.
Yeah.
So yeah,
you're doing it. How many dancers are in the ballet?
At Pacific Northwest Ballet, 40 something. I want to say 47, 46, something like that. Yeah, somewhere in the 40s.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you know them all by first and last name? Pretty
I
much?
think so. Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Have you
Nice.
made some friends and
Yeah, I've made some good friends, and that I was nervous about because I moved here in August of 2022, and like I didn't know anybody in the company. I had followed a few people just from social media,
yeah.
but I didn't really know or talk to anybody like that. And like the first day I got there, there's Xylis Hughes, Ashton Edwards, Gina, Belle, Amanda, like people just like came to me and were like, welcome.
That's cool.
You know, so it just felt really nice because I'm like really introverted and like kind of I am. And I'm just like,
Why are we lying on camera? You're not an introvert.
I'm not.
You're an introvert, really?
Yeah, I get really shy when there's like a bunch of people.
Okay.
And so yeah, like it's like I was really nervous because I was just like, what if I don't make any friends?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know anybody here. I don't know any of the teachers. And, you know, and I found that interesting because I feel like I was thinking, oh, the ballet world's so small. There's bound to be someone that I know. And I didn't know anybody. And, you know, no friends in the area except for one who lives like far out in Washington. But yeah, people have been really welcoming in the company and the artistic staff and yeah,
That's good.
everybody. Yeah.
Well, we're glad you're here in Washington, and you know, we wish you much success in everything you're doing. And I like your energy because even though you claim to be an introvert, you know, you came here with this positive attitude that I could feel like right when you walked through the door. So that's awesome. I appreciate that. And would you like to let people know how they can see what's going on in Audrey's world, awesome Audrey's world, what you have going on, or if they just want to say you're cool or we like your outfits that you be posting? Yeah, man. So let people know how they can find you and stay in touch.
Well, I mean, I do have an Instagram. Yeah, Instagram.
Let them know.
It's Audrey N. Malek.
One more time.
Audrey N. Malek. And I also have a website that I need to update. And that's about it. I mean, I think sometimes I'll upload some dance stuff on YouTube. That also needs to be updated. So I would say Instagram is the primary source if you want to see more things from me.
Awesome. Yeah. Any shout outs you want to give Audrey? She's like, oh.
Shout out to my mom and my dad and myself.
Yeah, and yourself. Yes, and your sister?
Yeah, my sister and brother. I love
Yeah.
them very much.
Okay. That's what's up. Thank you for stopping by, Audrey. This has been fun.
Yes.
We got to do this again.
Yeah, please.
We're going to, remember we were talking earlier, work on some stuff, some projects, make it happen. I got you. You got me. You always got a place here at Seattle Connected. And anything we can do to support you, just let us know, because we like what you're doing, and it doesn't hurt when there's faces that look like ours. It shows us that anything's possible. And at one time, you were one of those people thinking, do I have a place here? Are they going to open doors for me? Are they going to let me in? But you proved yourself. You came in that door, and now you're representing for all of us. So we appreciate it. I wish you nothing but success. I know it's coming, but I just want to throw that out there. And thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate it. And I thank you guys for always watching, whatever day you're watching it. It's all good. We appreciate the love. Like I always say, it's important to take care of others, but please make sure you take time to take care of yourself. Until next time, stay connected. Peace.